I'm Matt with eTrailer, and today we're talking about the Inno Roof Rack kit on top of our 2024 Kia Telluride. Now this is going to be a great option if you are looking for an easier installation that has all the parts already incorporated into the design and you don't have to worry about getting locks for it. It's also going to be really good if you need to throw anything up top on your roof because you're probably going to run out of space at some point in your Telluride, whether you're taking a bigger trip and you need to load up any extra luggage or extra gear. You'll be able to put that on top of your roof. The roof we have today is going to be a raised rail option. So that means this roof rack we have will only work with a raised rail option. The way you can tell is since I'm able to get my hand underneath here and wrap it around, that's going to be a raised rail. If you don't have a gap, that means you're going to have a flush rail. And if you're not sure, you can just plug in your vehicle's information into our fit guide to find out what's going to be the best fit for you. To help illustrate what I was talking about earlier about running out of space in the back of our Telluride, we put a box up here. This is one of the many options you can use a roof rack for, especially since the Telluride has third row seating. So if you are using all the seating in your vehicle, then putting something on top of your roof like a box is going to be a great option for you. Regardless of what you are hauling up there, they're all going to attach to your crossbars. And that's going to be this area that extends all the way across to the other side, and this is how you mount your accessories. One way you can mount your accessories is going to be with clamp-on accessories. So they'll just grab onto the crossbar, wrapping around, and that's going to be also part of this aero design. That aero design is also going to make this more aerodynamic to help reduce that wind noise. And for other options, if you want to use T-channel accessories, we have this slot up at the top, and that actually has this built-in weather strip. So if you are driving, you don't have anything up here, that weather strip is going to help keep any debris or wind from getting in there, preventing it from clogging up. At the very end, that's how we're going to attach our towers. Your towers are what grab onto our raised rails. The way that's going to work is we're going to have a rubber strap that reaches all the way across and connects to the backside. To give you a better look at what I'm talking about, I'm going to remove this end cap. You'll notice we have that rubber strap that's connecting to these two metal hooks. And above that, we're going to have the mechanism that tightens this all down. And what I really like is all this is a knob that you just turn by hand, so you don't need any included tools. Everything's connected to it, so it's going to be less likely to lose it. And what I really like about this is that these end caps come with locks. So with one of the big selling points of this rack is it being so easy to take off, you want to make sure you have some extra things to help prevent anyone from stealing these. So those extra locks go a long way. We can take a closer look at how these crossbars are going to sit up here. Now, what you're going to notice first is we have our sunroof open, and this is really close to making contact. If we were to open this all the way, it probably would. So where you place your crossbars is really going to matter, because if you have this too far forward, that's going to make contact. But you also got to be wary, because if you push it too far back, you could interfere with some hatch clearance if you have a box up here. So definitely keep in mind what you're hauling and where your crossbars are placed. But we can get a few measurements. The first measurement I'm going to get is going to be the distance underneath our crossbars, which is going to be a little bit under 3 inches. So that's something to think about if you have some really beefy or bulky clamp-on accessories. You might not have a lot of room underneath there, or trying to tighten them down is definitely something to think about too. For the total height we're going to get, that's going to be a little bit under 4 inches. So that's not going to stick up too high, but what I'd recommend doing is just taking the total height of your vehicle, plus your crossbars, and then if you have any gear on top of that, include that measurement too, so you know what areas you can make it under. A spot to really worry about would be a garage. Another measurement I would typically get would be your crossbar spread. And that's going to be the distance from your front crossbar to your rear crossbar. But since this is on a raised rail option, you can actually maneuver this a lot to fit whatever your needs are. And the reason why you would have to think about that is certain accessories have certain spreads they work well with. So definitely keep that in mind when you're putting them up here. And another thing is, like I was talking about earlier, how they're going to really work with your sunroof and your hatch. If you don't plan on using your sunroof, then pushing your crossbars forward probably wouldn't be a problem. Our rack today is going to have a weight capacity up to 165 pounds. So what I'd recommend doing is also checking what your roof is rated for, because you don't want to overload it and then damage your roof. So you can actually find out what your roof's rated for in your owner's manual. And then after that, just go from the lowest rated component so you can find out what you can haul up there. But in my opinion, I think this is a great option if you are looking for something that's just really easy to throw up on top of your roof and you want something that still could be secure. Now, if you are curious to see what I'm talking about what makes this so easy to put on your roof, just stay tuned and I'll show you what I'm talking about. To begin the installation, we're going to lay everything out. So closest to me, we're going to have the crossbar itself, and up front, we're going to have the towers. We're going to have the end caps that go to the towers themselves, and then we're going to have a set of keys. And we won't really need any tools because this is a tool-free install. I like to begin with the crossbar, so I'm just going to flip this over so we can show the underside. And you'll notice we have this channel that runs through. We're going to have this larger opening at the end. I'm going to take my tower, and we're going to have these tabs that stick up in the center, and we want to line that up with this larger opening. If you don't see this area open, you probably have it in a position kind of like this. So all we want to do is, to fix that, is just to pull this into itself. You have this rubber square that you push down, push underneath, and push it all the way down. Once you have that in the correct spot, we can put this onto our crossbar. We want to make sure that this handle is facing out away from the center of our crossbar. And we're going to line everything up till it feels like it's grabbing on. We're going to apply some pressure and push it towards our end of our crossbars. Sometimes you might have to wiggle a little bit. Push it in, just like that. And you'll notice we have an end cap at the very end. We really don't need that, so I'm just going to take mine off. It's really for if you have any type of crossbars or towers that are not flush kits. But since we have a flush kit today, we won't need it. And then you just repeat that process on the other side. Once everything's put together on your crossbar, we can put it up there. But before I do that, I want to check a few things. First, I want to make sure it's in the right orientation. So we're going to have this thicker side. I want that to be facing forward. And this thinner side, I want to be facing behind me. And we want to make sure we have the right crossbar on the right side of our vehicle, because your kit is going to come with two different sized crossbars because our top of our vehicle's roof does taper in. So you're going to want the smaller crossbar on the rear side and the larger crossbar on the front side. Once everything looks good, then we just have to lift up and just roughly place where you want it to sit on top of your roof. And then we can make some adjustments. When you're putting it up here, you also want to try to make sure that this rubber strap goes underneath and the tower goes on top. Also make sure you measure on both sides to see how far this needs to sit so it's nice and squared off. And also measure from your rear crossbar to make sure it's going to work with whatever gear you have, since you can't adjust this. After that, we're going to take that strap, put this bar on top of these hooks till it grabs on, and we're just going to tighten down this lever at the end. And we want to just get that to us pretty tight, and it's not going to go anywhere. And after when you have this tightened all the way down, you can repeat this process on the other side. I'm going to take my end cap, and that's going to be to the end cap of your tower. And you want to make sure you have the right letter on the inside, and that needs to match up with the letter that's on the tower itself, which is marked right there. After when you've matched them up, just slide this into place and lock this tower down, or this end cap into place. After when you've locked it, just give it a good shake test. Make sure nothing's moving, feels pretty secure. And if it does, you can load it up with whatever gear you have and hit the road. But that's just a look at the installation and some of the features of the Inno Roof Rack kit on top of our 2024 Kia Telluride. Thanks for watching.